recorded live in Jacksonville, Florida. This is Trivial Warfare. More than just a pub quiz, Trivial Warfare is your gateway to a worldwide trivia community. Join your hosts, Jonathan.
We just described Ric Flair as Neanderthal Man and Planet of the Apes.
Chris.
Yo, we going down to Sesame Street.
That's your impression of hardcore rap?
Carmela.
That would irritate the hell out. I'm like, I just want my groceries. My ice cream is melting.
Ben.
4 halogens in that list. Oh my God.
You were like, it's not the halogens. I'm like, no, Ben, no.
Those damn halogens got me again.
And the rest of the Trivial Warfare Army for another week of fun and games. Now here's your host, Jonathan Oakes.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Trivial Warfare. We are the podcast that takes the pub quiz out of the pub and brings it home to you. My name is Jonathan and I am here today with Zahkia Mendoza. Hello, Zahkia.
Greetings.
Greetings. So I've heard that not everything is kosher in House Mendoza today.
Yeah, we have a little COVID shout out. I love you, Dane. Hope you feel better.
Hope you feel better, Dane. We get you back in your tank tops as soon as possible. All right, we have some awesome guests too. So first up, Shane Clingenpeel is with us today. Hey, Shane.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Sara Callori is with us today. Hello, Sara.
Hello.
Hello. And Chris Welker is with us today. Hello, Chris.
Hello, everyone.
It is going to be a fantastic show, and I want to get to know all of you a little bit better. So, Shane, we'll start with you. Can you tell everybody where you're from, what you do, and something fun about yourself?
Sure. So I live in Lebanon, Indiana, which is about 30 miles northwest of Indianapolis. What I do, since the last time I was on the show, I've actually changed jobs. So now I manage research and development at Catalina Crunch. So it's a keto-friendly cereal and snacks company.
Ooh.
So I've been doing that for about 2 months now.
Very cool. And something fun about yourself.
Can't outdo what I did last time, so I'll just say that I went to see Joe Coy yesterday. So that was really cool.
What is Joe Coy?
He's a comedian.
Why is that funny, Zahkia? Am I showing my age? What's happening here?
It's like, what is a Joe Coy? Yeah, he's a comedian. He's funny.
I didn't know if it was going to be like a band or something.
Oh, okay.
He's quite a famous comedian.
He is? How do you spell Joe Coy?
Jokoy.
Joe Coy. Let's see if I recognize
He's got
this
lots
guy.
of Netflix specials, and he's been doing it for a while.
Yep, don't recognize him.
Yeah,
Never
he
seen the
dated
guy.
Chelsea Handler last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that a good for him or I'm so sorry to hear that?
I don't know. They broke up, so
okay.
There's that.
So, did you enjoy the show, Shane?
I did. It was the best comedy show that I've seen in a really long time.
Wow, that's fantastic. Very cool. Well, we are super happy to have you on the show today. Very excited. And Sara, tell everybody where you're from, what you do, and something fun about yourself.
All right. So I will proudly say I'm originally from New Jersey. Always put that out there. But I live in Redlands, California, where I'm a physics professor. Although I'm currently broadcasting from the beautiful Outer Banks in North Carolina because it's spring break.
Ooh, okay, cool. And something fun.
Related to that, I may be broadcasting from what I'm going to hazard a guess is the world's only physics-themed beach house. So out here, everyone, you kind of name all these beach houses so people, it makes them unique. And my family knows I like puns, so they let me name it. And after a lot of trial and error, I didn't think they'd go for it, but I said, how about E equals MC squared, like SEA squared? And they're like, okay. And I was like, oh, you're going to let me do this. All right. So then my mom starts buying like posters and art with Albert Einstein in it. And there's like a whole bunch of giant Albert Einstein pictures in the hall. My goal for this trip is actually to go, I want to commission a sign for their outside bar, calling it the H bar.
Oh, God.
Yeah, the physics people will get that.
Oh, my God.
I love it.
I feel like you're doing all of this for the gram. And I don't mean grandma in this case. Yeah, so It's E equals the letter M and then SCA.
Like in parentheses, SEA, and then squared.
That's great. That's really great. I
It's
love
beautiful.
it. And you have a sideways door floating above your head, which is always an interesting look.
Just a very weirdly designed shutters, I guess. I think it's because there's so much morning light in here just to keep it so you don't get woken up at like 5 in the morning.
Yeah. Sure, I get it completely. I like to walk through all of my doors sideways.
It's super odd looking though. It's not how I would have built it, but it's not my beach house.
Yeah, true enough. Well, we are glad you are here.
Yet. My parents are still alive.
Congratulations.
Yay!
Opa. And Chris Welker is with us today. Hello, Chris. Tell everybody where you are from, what you do, and something fun about yourself.
I am from Covina, California, which is a little east of LA. I am an operations manager for an integration services group. And something fun about myself, I had a different one, but I'm going to go with this one. I've taken 2 exams in restrooms.
Okay. We talked about this pre-show, but tell everybody more. Why are you taking tests in the bathroom?
So during COVID, there was a rise in exams for ham radio offered online. And one of the requests was make sure you're in a room where you can close the door. You can close any windows. And, no one will interrupt you while you're taking the exam. So for 2 of the 3 exams, it was easier for me to just lock myself in the bathroom while I took it.
I got to think that is a room with a high risk of interruption, though. Like, are you done in there?
Thankfully, that did not happen. There were more than one restroom available in the house the houses that I did this.
There we go. And how long have you been into ham radio?
I mean, my grandfather, from the time I was 6, tried to get me into it, and I tried. But it wasn't until I was about 32 when my mother-in-law gave me a hard time because she's like, I did it. So I finally got into it and have gotten my extra class, which is the top class license. So
wow, very cool. Very cool. It's always great when your mother-in-law criticizes you for not doing things that she did. Yeah, that gets you moving for sure. Well, it is great to have all of you on the show. We are going to have a great time, and we're going to get started today with Warm It Up, Chris.
It's time to warm it up on Trivial Warfare today. And there's only one person who can warm it up for the TWA, and that's Chris. And sometimes Jonathan.
Part of Chris will be played by Zahkia.
Yes, I am Chris Hollister today. Hello.
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 But in all seriousness, today's Warm It Up, Chris is pretty straightforward. I am going to give you guys a TV show, and you tell me what state the TV show is set in.
Okay.
So I cooked up a little order before all this started. Sarah, you're up first, and you have Family Guy.
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island is correct. Chris, you're next. You have Roseanne.
Oh,
God.
Is that in Illinois?
That is in Illinois.
Wow.
Jonathan, you have Murder, She Wrote.
Murder, She Wrote. I watched an episode like last year where they were vacationing in Miami Beach. Does that count? I don't know the answer, but for some reason I feel like she might have been in Maine. So I'm going to say Maine.
Oh, well, that's a good feeling because she was in Maine.
Is that really the right answer? Hell yeah. Okay.
We pull the Jonathans at the beginning of the episode.
That was in there somewhere.
Get
How in
him
the
out.
world?
Bring them out. Bring them out. Shane, you're up next. You have Roswell.
Well, my TV is very weak, but I'll just take the context clue of Roswell and say New Mexico.
New Mexico is correct. Sarah, you have Steven Universe.
Oh, I just got a Learnedly question on this incorrect, so I've never seen it. I have no idea. I didn't know it was set in a real place that's located within a state, but I'm from New Jersey, so let's just go New Jersey because I like that state.
You are dangerously close. It's in Delaware.
Oh.
Chris, you have Boardwalk Empire. Sorry, Sarah.
Well, New Jersey.
New Jersey is correct. Jonathan, deadliest catch.
Oh, Alaska, for sure.
Alaska, for sure, is correct. Shane, you have Quantico.
Again, so I've never seen this. I've actually never even heard of this show. So let's just go with Washington.
Oh, it's Virginia. It's set around Washington, D.C.
Oh,
Is Quantico where the FBI trains? Is that the gist of it?
Sarah, you have Gilmore Girls.
God, isn't that... I've never seen an episode of this. I think it's New Englandy, and I'm going to go with Connecticut because that's where a lot of rich white people are.
Oh, you would be correct. It is Connecticut.
Wow.
I know the grandma is like a real waspy rich lady on it. That's why I guessed that.
That's very good. Everyone's pulling Jonathan's. Chris, Yellowstone.
Montana.
Montana is correct.
Look at us.
Yeah. Jonathan, Ozark.
Arkansas.
Missouri.
All right. I was in the vicinity and I just didn't know exactly where the Ozarks were.
Yeah. You're close. You're close. Shane, that 90s show.
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin is correct.
What happened to Don't Know TV? What was that?
Well, I did watch that 70s show. So,
I see.
And I watched 1.5 episodes of that 90s show before I went, nope, not for me. So, I got at least that one.
All right. We had our last time through. Sarah, you have Home Improvement.
Oh, God. I feel like I have no idea what state that's in. I could tell you probably lots of other details, but I really have no idea. If I'm going to guess, maybe they're in like a Chicago suburb. Let's go with Illinois. I don't know.
It is where I am from. It's Michigan.
Oh, that's right. He was like a Lions fan or something like that.
Oh, yeah. The only Lions fan.
Yeah. Back then, there were more. People hadn't given up hope yet.
There's still people who have given up hope. They're weird. Chris, you have Dynasty.
Is that in California?
No. And I was kind of surprised to learn this too. Dynasty is set in Denver. It is in Colorado.
Oh. That
Yeah.
explains all the ski chase scenes. All the people skiing after each other. That's my inheritance.
All right, Jonathan, you have Coach.
Coach is in Minnesota.
Coach is in Minnesota.
They coached for the fictional University of Minnesota or Minnesota University or something like that. They were the Beavers, I think.
Yeah, it's based off the Gophers, so it's probably something like
I think
like
it was Beavers.
dangerously close. Yeah. Some kind of weird rodent that probably has like glands that we harvest for perfume. Shane, you have the final one. True Blood.
Oh, super heavy accents. I think it's Louisiana.
Louisiana is correct.
So he was the Minnesota State University Screaming Eagles.
Okay, we were way off.
Yeah, no, not even a mammal.
Well, that concludes our Warm It Up, Chris.
That was a good one. Well done, everybody. I hope you are feeling toasty. This is episode number 422. That means we are on the main feed. So I want to let everybody know that you can get more Trivial Warfare if you want it. We have a lot of old episodes that are fantastic. They are just as good or better as what you can listen to each week. You can access that by becoming a sergeant or higher in the Trivial Warfare Army. Go to trivialwarfarearmy.com, sign up as a sergeant, and you will get access to all of those older episodes. And if you want to have a chance to come on the show like these fine people, you just need to be a lieutenant or higher, and then you'll kind of go through the process and get selected. Other things to note, you can play along with today's game. Go to your favorite app store or Play Store and download Trivia-Matic. Hit the Play Now button and utilize this code, 430169. That's 430169. To sign in and play along with today's game. And today's game is going to be Jonathan and Chris versus Sarah and Shane. Zahkia is hosting, and it's time to play the game.
Play us. Oh, yeah.
Y'all know what time it is. This is Mr. Literature himself, cordially inviting you to the game. This is 6 rounds of trivia goodness. 3 questions per round. Every right answer gets you 10 points. In the middle, we'll take a pause for the cause and ask a midpoint question worth up to 20 juicy points. After round 6, you can wager any or all those points you've been building up and take a shot at the final round. It's a series of theme-based questions we call the Gauntlet. It's just that easy, baby. But this game ain't gonna play itself, players. Let's get it on.
Yeah, let's get into it. Round 1, question 1, your category, composers. The 1984 movie about him was great, but I'd love to see a buddy comedy about Joseph Haydn and this Austrian composer, as they both liked each other's work and fart jokes.
They liked each other's fart jokes?
Probably.
Wow. Have you ever seen a video of Sneals? I'm pretty sure nobody's ever seen a video of Sneals. Have you ever seen a video of seals sneezing?
No.
Seals sneezing. You mean
Yes.
actual seals and not
yes.
singer-songwriter seal.
And not Navy SEALs, but physical animal seals.
No.
Do yourself a favor and YouTube seals sneezing when you get a chance. It is hysterical. It is like a whole body shudder and then they fart out of their nose. It is hysterical.
Oh, that sounds painful.
It's brilliant. And it looks like Chris and I are locked in.
Yeah, we were kind of on the verge of locking. I thought you'd take longer, being that you took a nice detour into seal nose farts.
Now, we had the answer before I started talking.
So we both said we were going to assume it's Mozart. I know like 1984 seems to be the right timing for Amadeus.
And he really liked his scatological humor and has at least one song that I could, name about butts. So I'm happy to lock in with Mozart if you are, Shane.
Yep. That way we can move on from fart jokes. As much as I love them, but
Chris, am I missing something about Mozart and fart jokes? This is not a known thing for me.
I studied music for a little bit, and I don't recall that, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Sarah, what is the song that Mozart did that references butts?
Oh, God, the translation of the title is like Lick Me and
Beep.
Wow. What's the name? What is the name, though?
It's like Lick Me Champ
Beep.
or something.
Okay. Well, things we didn't know about Mozart. Got to use some creative editing there and make it even worse. Yeah, but both of us were on the Amadeus tip, I think, and we both said Mozart instantaneously.
Yeah, Austrian.
Yes, and Sarah is correct about what he wants you to do with his butt. The correct answer is Mozart. Wow.
My goodness. Spicy.
I was going to look that up on my phone afterwards to confirm. It's like, I don't want that in my search history. So
Use a work computer,
Clearly. I was looking up Mozart. It can't be bad.
Round 1, question 2, your category, television.
Televisione.
Televisiones. Jervis, Colleen, Sue Hawk, Rudy, runner-up Kelly, and eventual winner Richard Hatch were all contestants on the first season of what reality competition show that's currently in its 44th season?
100% agree. I got the toots. And that ain't no fart joke. We're locked in.
Apparently, we're just like a minute slower on the typing because I feel like we're locking in right like as soon as you're like, we locked in. So we have to keep talking.
I only watched a couple of seasons of Survivor. It was really entertaining at the time, and I'm still shocked to find out that it's still on. But I have one diehard fan in my trivia group, so he'll be happy that I called that out.
Yeah, I agree on Survivor. I think that's the only season I've watched all the way through. I remember it was just such a phenomenon. You couldn't avoid it. And it still goes. And it's one of these, every few years you hear a trivia question, how many seasons of Survivors are there? And there's so many.
Jonathan and Chris, what did you say?
Richard Hatch, and there being 40 seasons, it's just Survivor was where my mind went right away.
Okay. When I was doing some research for this question, I stumbled upon Sue Hawk's rat and snake speech. And she's like, we've got rats and snakes on this island. And yeah, talking about Kelly and why she was voting for Richard Hatch to be the first winner of Survivor.
Oh, wow. I still remember season 1. I didn't watch much Survivor in my life, but season 1 had one of my favorite moments of TV in my entire life.
Oh.
Yes, the competitor's name was Rudy. He was the old man, the old military guy, and he was not the brightest guy, but he was physically capable, especially for an older guy. And he was late in the game doing a challenge where they had to go from place to place and solve clues to figure out a puzzle, but they were having to get from station to station. And they would record them as they got to the station to figure out what to do. And most people didn't even finish. I remember people weren't finishing. And he made it to every station. And at every station, he got there, looked at a clue, and was like, I don't know. And just went to the next station. And would get just worn out, get there, pick up the clue, read it, say, I don't know. And then go again. Oh my God. I think I was watching it with my brother. We were laughing so hard at this dude who was physically able to do the challenge, but completely mentally unable to complete a single part of it. I was laughing so hard.
Wow. Other things to YouTube after you're done here.
Oh man, I hope that's out there. That was too funny.
All right, let's get into round 1, question 3. Your category, diseases. Gout is an inflammatory condition caused by the deposition of needle-like uric acid crystals, and it is characterized by painful, hot, swollen joints. In nearly half of all gout cases, the podagra, or a joint located specifically where, is affected.
The podagra is the joint. Yep. We need another name for the podagra joint.
Yes, specifically where.
You don't have to answer the question, Zahkia, but I do want to ask a clarifying question since nobody said anything.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a situation where we're looking for multiple joints for the same name, or is it a single joint? And if you say you don't want to answer, it's okay.
It is a single joint.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we're talking specific. We're talking very specific, right?
Yes, we're talking very specific.
We're locked in.
Okay. Jonathan and Chris, talk it out.
Well, Chris, it's kind of weird because podagra. Can you spell podagra for us, Zahkia?
Podagra.
Okay, so it's P-O-D, not P-E-D, because podiatrist, usually if we're talking about feet.
But that's P-O-D.
Yeah, but if there's only one specific joint, then either it's something on the torso or neck or head, because arms and legs have 2 of anything. They're all the same, unless this joint has the left ankle is called podagra and the right ankle is called rhodagra. Maybe there is a specificity to which side of the body it's on. But yeah, POD still leads me to feet.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
I've heard people talk about big toes when dealing with gout, so I don't know if it's that or the ankle. But
yeah.
like you said, she said only one.
And for pod, I guess it could be toes, but doesn't feel podagra. Podagra. Are there any body parts that have a foot in the name, where foot is part of the name, but it's not in your feet?
For joints?
Every part of your spine is a joint. Your
could it be
neck,
the foot, or maybe the base of your head? The
base of the skull?
Yeah.
I don't know. So if you want to say right big toe, I guess I'm fine. I think I'd rather say ankle than toe, but I don't know, like a pelvic joint or a mandible, but I agree, toes.
Yeah.
Your mouth has a roof. Maybe your mouth has a foot. Mandible's
Maybe,
the
but
bone, though. Mandibular joint.
but you've got two. You got
God,
the joint
you're right,
on either
it's a
side.
hinge.
I mean, the right big toe. Maybe.
You gotta say right big toe?
I'm good with right big toe.
All right, we're gonna say the right big toe because we don't want to say the wrong big toe.
All right, Shane and Sarah, what did you say?
Well, before I got like really distracted with Chris's cat, which is like petting his beard and it's the cutest thing, we also said big toe because I know, especially if you watch or read a lot of historical fiction, they always make like the rich landowners have gout and it bothers their feet. But also, This Podcast Will Kill You did an episode on it. And I'm not 100% sure it's a big toe, but I know it's like feet and toes is where it often starts. And it like triggered a memory that I think big toe is it. And I hope that's it.
Well, there's a whole scene in Kill Bill. She doesn't have gout, but she does lay in the back of the car and say, "Wiggle your big toe," which is the correct answer. So, Jonathan and Chris, you get credit for right big toe, though
Okay.
gout can occur in your left big toe.
Well, you said there's only one joint, and that's two joints. That's why, literally, that's why I was asking that question.
Oh, I thought you meant like one joint versus like the many joints of your foot,
No,
and, like of your toes.
Because the wording of the question was singular joint, and we're like, well, crap, there's two of each of these, so how can we can't say that?
Well,
Okay,
you got
we're
there
good.
anyway.
We're good then. Thank goodness, because I'm glad we didn't think of something better, Chris.
Yeah.
So after round one, teams are tied 30-30. Let's get into round two. Question one, your category: Subpoena the Teenage Witch.
Oh.
Abigail Williams leads a literal witch hunt in Salem in what 1953 Arthur Miller play?
Ooh. I think sweet. We'll lock in.
We're slow typing.
Well,
I just like texted. I just texted Shane. Happy to lock, and yeah, we're slow typers.
There's no we're slow typers. It's Shane's a slow typer.
No, the reason I'm not slow is because I do a second thing on my iPad, so I use the keyboard rather than my fat thumbs on my phone. That's yeah.
I think the reason is we just don't ask each other questions. I just said, here's what I think, and he says yes, so I lock us in.
Okay.
So
See, we asked for consent.
Yeah.
See, that's the difference.
That's the difference, yes. As long as I'm not touching him, I think he's consenting.
Yeah. So if we're talking, I said The Crucible, and Shane 2 seconds later said The Crucible. I mean, I had to read this in English class, and it was an allegory about the communist witch hunts, but also I was a weird teenager and had the like Salem witch trials, thing for a while.
You had the thing for a while?
We visited Salem in middle school with my family, and I thought that I like weird history stuff,
Love that. All right. Well, we, on the other hand, went with The Crucible.
Oh, very different.
Yes. I mean, Arthur Miller, we got to go with The Crucible.
So, Jonathan and Chris say The Crucible. Shane and Sarah said The Crucible. Very different answers. Your correct answer, The Crucible.
Are they going to get credit for that
Somehow, I mean, both teams get the 10 points. Yeah. Round two, question two. Your category, business.
Business.
We got like a New England thing going on here. Headquartered in Woonsocket, Rhode Island, and situated at number 4 on the Fortune 100, what is the largest healthcare company in the world, with ownership over its retail chain and ownership of Aetna, a health insurance provider?
You want to lock it in, dude?
Sure, let's lock it in.
All right, we're locked in.
I mean, I guess I have a qualifying question. You say they own their own retail chain? Like, I guess you probably can't answer if it's named for the same company, right?
You definitely can't.
Yeah, okay.
You can't answer that because if she did, that would change the information you had versus what we had to answer the question.
That's right.
Hence why you only got a little giggle there.
I knew the answer before I asked it, but gotta ask it anyway.
Yeah. But it's time. I don't know. Business is like my terrible learnedly category.
I mean, you mentioned CVS and
that, because what counts as a retail store for healthcare, right?
Yes, that does. Like that, Walgreens, stuff like that. But I wouldn't imagine either of those are the number 4 Fortune 500 company.
I don't know about that. I mean, it can be, diversification, but yeah, I guess like what are health retail stores that have a lot of places? Like, does Target own it? Because a lot of these are starting to partner with like doctors and insurance to have clinics in their stores. So that could be where like the ownership of insurance comes in or something. I can't say for at least Target. It's not Target. They're headquartered in Minnesota. Yeah. There's a ton of CVSs. Like I grew up in the Northeast and CVS was like the major chain, which is why I thought of it first. Walgreens is the other one.
I mean, yeah, they're both pretty all over the place here. I don't even know, what does CVS even stand for?
That's a great question.
Like in order to hit the retail chain part of it, like I'm fine with CVS. Also not lost on the irony that wound socket sounds like wound socket. And
I think that every time I pass the exit, like the sign for it on the highway, and I'm like, this is an awful. I get it. I don't want to denigrate the fact that it is likely a Native American based name, but yes, it does have certain. Sounds like it has connotations in English, but yes, I always think that.
I mean, we're not going to come up with a better answer, and I prefer CVS over Walgreens. So.
As do I. Although I will say we got a lot of Rite Aids in California, and they are quite nice. But I'm fine if you want to lock with CVS.
Yeah, let's just do that.
Okay.
All right, Jonathan and Chris, what did you say?
Well, Chris, that sucked. That sucked big time. That sucked so much big time.
Yeah.
Go ahead and talk about it. Tell us what you know.
My stepmother works for the answer that we went with and I remember her talking about they acquired a insurance company and the going through their finances because that's the department she's in. I couldn't remember which insurance provider it was, but Aetna was kind of tickling that memory. So, and she works for CVS. So I told Jonathan that information that I had. So
we said CVS.
Yeah.
All right. Both teams say CVS. The correct answer, whose full name is Consumer Value Stores, or according to their old CEO, Convenience, Value, and Service.
BS. BS. You did not name your store Convenience, Value, and Service. Get out of here.
Yeah, right. But yeah, take it up with Tom Ryan, who is not CEO anymore. The correct answer is CVS.
Man.
Yay.
God, that stunk. I hated that.
It feels good.
Yeah.
That's how now you know how we felt when you guys were going around. Should be foot or toe, right? No.
Or the neck. Maybe the neck. Yeah.
What about
that had to be awful. You're right.
All right. Round 2, question 3. Your category. I'm very proud of this category name. I thought of in the shower. Uncle Particle and Antimatter. Yeah?
Did you say Uncle Particle?
Yeah, she did.
Yes. Uncle Particle and Antimatter. Yeah. Okay. Sara and the MC square. Yeah, I think we appreciate the puns.
Sorry, whenever I know it's a physics question, I feel really stressed because I'm like, if I don't get this, it's going to look real bad. I'm not a particle physicist.
Well, Godspeed. All right.
Also, we are not particle physicists.
So yeah, it's even. You're fine.
Steven.
The antiparticle of a proton is an antiproton. The antiparticle of a neutron is a antineutron. And yes, the antiparticle of an electron could be called an anti-electron, but I am looking for its more common name. That's all you get.
Anti-electron.
We can shit. Shane, you okay?
Yeah. You didn't need to consult me on that one.
Okay. But we're all about consent.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, Chris, do you know the answer?
No.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, neither do I. So, anti-electron. Is this a quark? Is that what this is? That's a smaller than atom-sized thing.
The only thing
there's a thing called a positron. Ooh, maybe it's a negatron. That's a cool name.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, that's not right, but Negatron is friggin' awesome.
Which Transformer is that?
It's Megatron's nephew, Negatron.
There we go.
Clearly.
It's a nibbling.
It's nibbling, yes.
I'm fine with Quark, but the only thing that comes up in my mind is from Big Bang Theory and Quark blocking. So
I have. Oh God, I have an idea. I have a real idea now.
Okay.
I already said the word, but let's go back to positron because protons are positive, so an antiproton would be negative. A neutron is neutral, so an antineutron's neutral probably, but an electron is typically negatively charged, which means that an opposite of a negatively charged subatomic particle would be positively charged, and a positron could be the name of a positively charged subatomic particle. I kind of like it.
I don't dislike it, so if you want to go with that, I'm good with that.
I think we should try it.
All right,
we'll say positron. The happiest of the Transformers. he was damn near a Care Bear.
Shane and my fellow pun lover, Sarah, what did you say?
We also went with positron because I do physics.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
I knew that one.
I didn't.
It's going to be funny if it's wrong.
Well, I will just keep you out of your misery. It is right. Positron is the correct answer.
Nice.
Dude, we logicked that. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That's good logic. I was like proud of you. I didn't want you to get it because like I want to win, but I was like proud of you for that.
Oh, thank you. I felt really good.
Yeah.
I was a good student on that one.
That's the kind of logic I want you to take with these. Like really, I want you to get the answers right.
Absolutely.
So at the end of round 2, we are 60-60, both teams.
Wow. That's something.
Round 3, question 1, your category, current technology. What is the name of Google's AI chatbot, an intended competitor to ChatGPT? It shares its name with a character class in Dungeons and Dragons.
All right. We'll lock that in. If you're confident, we'll go for it.
Yep.
Okay. We can talk because I feel like I encountered this in like recent news articles like, oh, competitors chat GPT, but I gloss over it. So what are Dungeons and Dragons character classes?
I mean, I've never played D&D personally, but like I can name like some classes, but you think it would be
what sounds like a good AI that's a Dungeons and Dragons character class?
none of the ones that I'm thinking of.
What are character classes?
Druids and necromancers do not make good for AI groups.
Paladin.
I mean, I wouldn't hate that if that's what we end up going with.
Oh, is it snappy enough? Let's put it on the back. We'll put a pin in it. I've played D&D once.
What character class did you play?
I don't remember. Oh, God.
Clerics and monks.
Yeah, you put the wrong kind of nerds together on this side. Like,
yeah, I was just saying, unfortunately, I'll probably embarrass myself saying classes, so I should probably just stop.
monk is good. Is there a bard? Oh, I like bard, like a storyteller. Because wasn't this was wasn't this like a final question a while ago? It was like, what are the original D&D classes? And someone said bard and someone said paladin. And it was like, paladin's correct. I feel like that was on one of the gauntlets recently. Is bard a character class? Because I kind of like that, the idea of like a storyteller.
Yes, bard is the character class.
Let's just say things and see if we can get a rise out of them, like poker. Let's see if we get him to... Chris is good because he's got the cat to keep him occupied, so we can't see his reaction.
He's starting to turn away. I would think it's going to be, if it's going to be a character class, we're going off that, it would be something that is helpful or something that is going to, like, buff characters, which a bard would do. Would raise morale of the group.
I'm
bards,
fine.
other than trying to sexually assault everything.
Thing.
From what I understand.
Oh, okay. I apparently didn't play D&D with a fun crew then. I'm fine if we want to go with it.
I don't love it, but I don't love it.
But if you can think of anything else you love better,
let's just go with Bard. If we're wrong, we're wrong. It's okay. So we'll lock in with Bard.
Jonathan and Chris, you guys had meow meows. What did you meow meow about?
Chris, I feel like Yosemite Sam right now. You know why?
Why is that?
Because I want to say,
I like it. Well, I mean, I've got my player's guides on this shelf, but that's not why I was thinking, or that's not why I got my answer.
Too.
Nice. I got my answer because I got an invite this week for Bard.
So it seems that Sarah has listened to the Trivial Warfare episode. That was my gauntlet, where the answer was Paladin, and the other, I think Jonathan's team said Bard. Jonathan's team said Bard this time.
We said Paladin. We got it right.
Oh, you guys did get it right. My sorry. But either way, the teams here said Bard. Your correct answer is Bard, the poetic name.
Golly, that's two of those in the last couple of questions here.
Snapping, pulling answers. I love it.
Compliments to the chef of the game, because you're giving us questions with like good clues that we can riff on.
Yep.
Thank you. I wrote these with a sore throat.
I eat crayons. That was such a that was such a Wiggum thing to say. I wrote these questions with a sore throat. Me fail English? That's impossible.
Round 3, question 2. A category TV theme songs that are not The Simpsons. All right. Featuring a drum loop that mimics a heartbeat and a harpsichord theme, Massive Attack's trip hop song Teardrop is used as the theme song to what TV series that ran from 2004 to 2012?
Yeah, you can lock that in.
All right, we're locked.
All right, Chris,
All right.
You suggested House MD. What's your confidence? And is MD part of the title of the show House?
I think it was part of the title.
That. I think it would be safe just to say House if it is House.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm fine with that. But high level of confidence for House, because I only really watched Grey's Anatomy and House, and I don't remember a boat going through in Grey's Anatomy, but I remember listening to Massive Attack after the House theme song sparked my interest in it. So
I can help narrow down other shows that it's not if you want.
Okay.
It is not Scrubs.
Yep.
100% no, it's not Scrubs. Also, not The Right Years for ER or Chicago Hope. So it's not one of those.
Yeah. And it's not Grey's because it's still going.
Oh, God, it is, isn't it? Yep.
Yeah.
So in that case, House seems like a decent answer there.
All right.
We're going to house it.
Yep.
Take it to the house.
Shane and Sarah, what did you say?
Yeah, I don't have good flavor text. It's just one of those things like I watched the show and later learned who did the theme song and said House.
Okay, well, I will add some sabour here. So before the show, Sarah suggested that we do a show where I make sounds and people guess. So here is my impression of this theme song. Boom, boom, pooch. Boom, boom, pooch. Boom, boom, pooch. Boom, boom, pooch. Boom. I can play this on the piano too. The correct answer is House. Also acceptable, House MD.
I am glad that you finally said it was House because I don't know the song at all. It had no chance. She did the whole thing. I'm like, is it right? I don't know.
Yeah, so Jonathan, what you missed while you were restarting your Skype was that I said, Zahkia, since your first episode, I've had this idea that you do a bonus episode where it's like all clues of like music stuff, but she just makes the noises, not the
I
lyrics.
love that.
There's a board game like that, and I forgot what it's called, but my sister is having like a beach house party for her birthday in June, and I want to get that board game
That
because
sounds fun.
She just you just make sounds and you guess what it is. And my sister makes the most ridiculous sounds. Like one time we were doing like some kind of charades where you can make sounds, and she was trying to do Batman's belt. So she did, I'm like, what is that? Like that, how is that Batman's belt? It was strange. Yes,
Is that
but
part of monikers?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it would be more like, I'm Batman.
right. Yeah. Redonkulous. But 10 points for both teams on 3, question 2. So let's get into round 3, question 3. In celebrities, the HBO teen drama Euphoria has 17 executive producers, including but not limited to showrunner Sam Levinson, stars Zendaya and Hunter Schafer, and what musician and actor who had his breakthrough to stardom on a teen drama himself?
Zahkia, can I ask you a question about the question? Did you say or mean to imply that the person you're looking for, I know he's an executive producer on the show. Did you mean to include him and he's someone who is also currently on the show, or did you not mean to imply that?
How to answer your question? That he had his breakthrough, not that he is still on a show.
Okay. Because the way you listed it, if it was like star A, star B, and star, these people that are on the show, star A, star B, and star C. I didn't know which clause you were putting.
No. Sam Levinson's not on the show. Yeah.
No, Sam Levin. Yeah, the way you broke up the sentence, I was trying to figure out if you meant for me to understand that the person you're looking for was on the show, saying they were on the show or not.
No.
Oh, feel good about that?
Good
okay,
enough.
yeah. We'll lock that in. That's a solid guess.
Okay, Shane and Sarah, talk it out.
We're in the middle of me trying to talk it out while Shane gives me nice, like, I believe in you type messages.
I'm a positron.
Aww.
Give her the Care Bear stare.
I want someone to make a positron where it's a transformer with a Care Bear tummy with a heart.
Yeah. That's how he shoots people with the Care Bear stare. He's like, it comes right out of his belly. Oh my God.
I'm usually good with celebrities, and this is a show that's kind of on my radar, but I feel like these people all skew a little bit younger than the stuff I catch up with, even though I know like they're in other things. My first guess, that's why I asked for clarification if Zahkia meant to imply that the person was currently on the show or not, because my first guess was Drake, Wheelchair Jimmy, back in Degrassi: The Next Generation. He fits the bill for someone that is, an actor, musician that got their break there. I'm sure he is not the only one, that's the problem. There's all those Disney kids that got big doing Disney movies, but like I really have no idea on this one. That was like just the first person that fits that description well enough for me. I don't think he's on the show, but it could be that he's a producer because he wants to diversify into producing. I don't know the show super well enough. I'm behind on TV.
I mean, my TV expertise right now is small children's shows. You want me to name all the Paw Patrol dogs? I got it.
Oh, it's the Gauntlet. The Gauntlet is the Paw Patrol. We're good. Yeah, I'm sure there are some others that fit that bill, right? But I have no pull one way or the other. I'm fine if you just want to lock in with it, and we'll take our chances.
Yep, I told you. If you have, if that's where you're being pulled, that's the only info you got.
Sure, let's lock in with Drake.
Great, because I needed an answer from you guys in like 10 seconds, so that works. Jonathan and Chris, what did you say?
So Chris saved us from me going with my first gut. My first gut was like Zendaya is friends with Zac Efron because they did the Greatest Show together, The Greatest Showman. But Chris is like, well, I know he's a singer. Is he a musician? And then he says, is High School Musical really a drama? I'm like, huh. No, I don't think either of those things fits. Back to the drawing board. And then we started thinking about teen dramas, and I went back when it was backtracking, I was like, all right, let's see here. Matthew Perry? No, not Matthew Perry. What about Jason Priestley? Then I got to the mid-90s, and I was like, My So-Called Life. Jared Leto was in My So-Called Life. And he's in 30 Seconds to Mars, and that's a whole band thing, and he's still really active in Hollywood. So we went with Jared Leto.
So we have a split in the tides. Jonathan and Chris, you said Jared Leto. Shane and Sarah, you said Drake. I do have a correct answer here. my note to Jonathan and Chris is whatever it takes, I know you will make it through this. The correct answer is Drake.
Wow.
Nice.
Good job, Sarah.
That was just like, this is the only one I could name. But no, Jared Leto is also, for those reasons, a good guess.
That is a very good guess, but Drake is the correct answer.
It fit everything except being the right answer.
So at the end of round 3, before your midpoint, Jonathan and Chris, you have 80. Shane and Sarah, you have 90.
Chris, they have a perfect game.
Don't say it! Oh!
Too late. There's no way you're missing anything. You're going to be perfect the whole game.
Oh, woof. All right, guys, let's get into the midpoint. I really couldn't think of a good category name, so I called it Subways and Metro Stations.
Oh, great.
Oh, boy.
Hoagies and grinders.
Hoagie.
Navy beans.
Oh my God. All right. So basically, I'm going to give you the names of 3 subway or metro stops. You give me the city that the subway or metro system is located in.
Okay.
So there are 4 sets of these. Your first set is Beaux-Arts, Hochelaga Maisonneuve, and McGill. The next set is Torre Gaia, Termini, and Pyramide. The third set is Crystal City, Capital South, and Friendship Heights. And your last set is Pershing, Wilshire Normandy, and Vermont Beverly.
To clarify, are these stations or stops? And then we're naming the city that they're all in.
Yes.
Right.
Oh. You want to go with those 4?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll write them. Well, we'll give them when Zahkia asks, but we'll lock in.
Okay.
So should we go Montreal for the first one? Are you fine with my guesses of Washington, D.C., and then L.A., Los Angeles for the 4th ones? 3rd and 4th?
Yeah. Yeah,
What
fine.
do you want? Do you want Mexico City, or do we want? I'm pretty sure Rome is not correct.
You want me to flip a coin?
You know what? Let's flip the coin. That way we can blame the coin.
I'll roll a d6 on my phone.
Okay.
If it's odd, we'll go with Mexico City. It's 4.
Okay.
The 4.
Montreal, Rome, Washington, D.C., and Los Angeles. And yeah.
Jonathan and Chris, what did you say?
Well, number 4, living out here, actually using the metros, it's LA. When I saw Crystal City, I remember that's a football team, not our football, the original one, and Capital South. So Jonathan said that sounded right. Jonathan came up with number 1.
You didn't say the name of the city there for 3.
Didn't I? Oh, for 3, London. Sorry. For number 2, Jonathan said Rome. The Termini isn't that one of the big fountains out there? And then the other.
No, I don't think it's a fountain, but I think it's
Termini.
terminus.
Okay.
It's kind of like the end of the route kind of name for a place.
Yeah, and Pyramidi, I don't remember who it was, but one of the Caesars saw the pyramids and went, I want one of those, and made that. So I couldn't think of number 1, and then Jonathan came up with...
I don't feel good about it. I said New Orleans. I said New Orleans because it's French and American at the same time.
Well, I mean, New Orleans, Cajun, isn't that just hillbilly
No, it's
Canadians?
French. It's New Orleans is a fine answer, but Montreal's probably a better answer.
Yeah. But so we went, let me put it in the right order now. New Orleans, Rome, London, and Los Angeles.
Okay. So minor correction on my part. On the first one, the station is actually called Place des Arts, but it leads you to the Musée du Beaux-Arts, and Hochelaga Maisonneuve and McGill are all in Montreal.
Nice job, Sarah.
Torre Gaia, Termini, and Pyramide. Jonathan and Chris really kind of spelled it out here. Termini is the name of a huge bus train station. Pyramide. There is a pyramid in the city made for Roman emperors. Like, hey, I want one of those. I think his name is Cestius or something kind of weird like that. The answer is
Septimus.
Septimus.
There was like a Severus Septimus or something like that.
No, I don't know. Septimus sounds like part of your nose. But Rome is the correct answer there.
Thank you, Shane.
Oh, that feels good. Feels
Could
good.
have said Mexico City still. I'll let you go back if you want.
No, we're good.
Crystal City, Capital South, and Friendship Heights are in Washington, D.C.
Chris, I think you're thinking of Crystal Palace is the place in London.
Yes, yep.
Darn.
And Pershing, Wilshire, Normandy, and Vermont, Beverly. Chris got it on the head. There is a reason why it sounds familiar to you, Sarah. It's because the answer is indeed Los Angeles. So your correct answers are Montreal, Rome, Washington, D.C., and Los Angeles.
Did y'all get all 4 of those?
Yes, they did. They got the
Hell
20
no.
points.
Boo! Boo on your team.
Ooh, after you cursed them too. So
I didn't curse anybody. I jinxed them and then I booed them.
So Jonathan and Chris, you have 90 after the midpoint. Shane and Sarah, you have 110 after the midpoint.
All right, that's the end of the first half. Before we go on to the second half, I want to let you know that today's show is sponsored by Trivia with Buds. Here's Ryan Buds to speak for himself about everything you need to know.
What it be, trivia lovers? It's your pal Ryan Buds, host of Trivia with Buds, a Monday through Friday pop culture podcast with episodes under 10 minutes to give your nostalgic brain a workout. With over 2,000 episodes, you're all set for fun and games on your next long flight, road trip, or weekend hangout with friends and family. Check out recent episodes on famous mullets, Dungeons & Dragons, classic cocktails, and tons more. And for info on virtual, in-person, and hybrid trivia, bingo, and game show events, go to my website, triviawithbuds.com. Cheers!
Today's show is also sponsored by Every Plate. You know Every Plate. You love Every Plate. Every Plate is just the best darn meal kit delivery service there is out there. You want to save money on food expenses this spring? You can get more bang for your bite because Every Plate is America's best value meal kit. It is 25% cheaper than grocery shopping, and there's no hidden fees, so that's value every week. It comes with pre-portioned ingredients that are exactly what you need to cook the meal that you're set up to cook with all the instructions, and it makes cooking easy. And if you think saving 25% off of groceries is good, it's 50% cheaper than your average fast casual meal. I don't know about y'all, but I've done the takeout thing during the pandemic and a little bit afterwards, and it's so much more expensive than it should be. Everything's pricey except Every Plate. You can get a satisfying meal that you put together quickly, and it is so much less expensive than what you're going to pay at a fast casual restaurant. They have something now I'm excited about called Big Batch Faves. Y'all know I'm a big guy. I like big food. Big Batch Faves, that's fun to say, is a new selection of hearty meals for big gatherings. So you let your slow cooker do most of the work, and you can have awesome dishes like a Tex-Mex black bean chili or even a beef bolognese. Now is the time to try Every Plate. You can get Every Plate for $1.49 per meal by going to everyplate.com/podcast. That's the word podcast, and entering code TWA149. That's right, you can get started with Every Plate for just $1.49 per meal. Go to everyplate.com/podcast and enter the code TWA149. All right, let's get on with the second half of today's game.
All right, let's get into round 4, question 1. Your category is snacks.
Now, this is a topic I should know something about.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry if I mispronounce the name of the snack here. I'm going to try my best. A stroopwafel is a Dutch treat in which 2 thin waffles are pressed together with a caramel filling to make a cookie.
I knew all of that. Damn it.
Do you know this? Stroopwafel originate in what Dutch city, which shares its namesake with a famous cheese?
No, I don't know that.
Well, that's the question. Figure it out.
Do you even want to talk about it, or we both said the same thing?
Yeah, but I don't know it. I just
Okay, we'll think about it longer. Sorry for the small children noises. Yes, I see it. You're wearing.
Do your children appreciate cheese? Because kids like cheese. Can they help? What cheese do your children like?
Well, if you could imagine, a 3-year-old's not very into European cheeses.
Got to work on that.
Yeah.
That's how you breed kids that aren't picky eaters. I mean, mine just like string cheese for a good 2 weeks and then refuse to eat any cheese whatsoever after.
Okay, we're gonna lock in.
Okay.
Lots of Italian cheeses as I name these things.
Yeah.
So you want to go with the cream, right? City of cream cheese? No?
Spray? Whiz?
Exactly. We're going to go with easy. The city of easy.
The Leaning Tower of Cheesa.
Better than our answer of Kraft American cheese food. What is it? Cheese food product?
Yeah, exactly. Velveeta.
Powder.
Okay, yeah. So out of the ones I've listed, which was quite a few...
Yes.
Blue is French. Brie feels French. Limburger feels Germanish, but there's lots of German. The thing is, there's lots of German and French in the Netherlands.
Right.
They speak all of those languages.
Jarlsberg kind of, it's hitting me for some reason. I don't know if it's good.
Havarti isn't terrible. Munster's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Are there any cheeses with the word van or ver in front? Ver cheddar? Van Brie?
Van Blue? Down by the river?
You said Carlsberg. Is that a cheese?
I don't know. I think it's actually a beer.
It's definitely a beer and a city, but not a Dutch city.
Okay. Then that doesn't work.
Munster I always assumed was German, but I don't know. Munster. Jarlsberg sounds like a city because of Berg, but lots of these are cities.
Yes.
Stroopwafel is such a Germanish name that we should go with a Germanish answer. Limburger is definitely a French name, and Berg is another word for city. Mm-hmm. And Munster is a German-sounding one, so I would go with one of those.
Limburg, I think of Lindy.
But Limburger is the name of the cheese, but it's not the name of the city.
Okay.
Limburg would have to be the name of the city, so in that case, maybe Munster.
Yeah, Munster, of what we've listed, Munster seems good.
It's hard. I don't know. Let's just go ahead and do it. We're taking a long time. We'll say Munster.
Yeah.
You'd say Munster.
We're on the Munster squad.
Gods and Munsters. Jeez.
This is getting cheesy.
Oh my goodness.
I'm going to have to wheel you out of here.
Shane. Shut up. Shane and Sarah, what did you say?
So Sarah and I both at the same time said Edam or Edam. We're pretty sure that's a Dutch cheese, and I believe it's a city in there. And then when we were thinking about it, she also listed Gouda, which would definitely lend itself towards the famous part of the cheese side. And it's actually in my house, so I'll be sad if that's the answer. But because we weren't sure if that was a Dutch city or not. If it is, maybe we would have went with that instead.
Yeah, we went with what we were sure was at least a Dutch cheese, which was Edam. 10
points to me in the Stroopwafels.
Nice.
So Münster is a cheese. There is a city in Germany called Münster, but it's not related to a Münster cheese. Apparently that is American concept is Münster cheese.
Okay.
And Edam is a Dutch cheese, but not the famous Dutch cheese I was going for. Your correct answer is Gouda or Gouda.
Ooh.
It feels worse when you list the correct answer and you don't choose it.
It's okay. I really had no feeling of which one could be a city.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just disappointed that my knowledge of stroopwafels did not help me with this question.
When she was in the middle of that question, I thought she was going to go, what is the... I was ready to be like, to type meow meows because I thought she was going to say, what is the filling? I was ready for that.
I literally, because people have talked about them so positively, I bought some at the store for the first time when I saw them. Like, they just showed up here in Jacksonville, apparently. And I'm like, that's a stroopwafel. I'm going to give that a try. And I had it. It's like, oh my God, this is so freaking good. Oh, yum.
I
Have you ever had them fresh?
No, I haven't had one fresh. Honestly, I kind of just want to take 2 waffles and stick them together with like full-size waffles and just go there.
Stroopwafel came inspired by a Universal Yums box. And they had it this month with Netherlands, and we had stroopwafels. So 10 points to me. Let's get into round 4, question 2, your category, casting choices. And now I'm looking this. I'm sorry that this game is so TV heavy.
They're winning. Don't feel bad.
In a season 3 episode of Sex and the City, Carrie Bradshaw goes to meet with what actor who is playing himself and is interested in turning her column into a movie and starring in it. This actor later co-starred opposite Sarah Jessica Parker in a 2006 rom-com, but not as Carrie and Mr. Big.
I don't know this guy's name.
What year did you say for the movie?
2006.
I think we're locked.
Okay, Jonathan and Chris, talk it out, friends.
So, Chris, like 2006 Sarah Jessica Parker rom-com, I'm not coming up with anything, like I can't remember that. I feel like there was is like Dylan McDermott, or like, is there like a Derek Mulrooney or somebody like that? These are names that feel connected to her for some reason. I don't know why.
Sure. I don't remember her meeting them in the show.
I never watched the show. I'm just trying to get people she would have done a rom-com with.
I've watched through it more than once.
Okay. Give me the right answer, bro.
So I can see somebody's face. I can
Richard
hear
Gere.
their voice. They look like a white dude.
White dude, okay.
Yeah, we all look alike.
Did he have 2 arms?
Do we look alike, yes. Chris?
No. Okay. But in my head right now, I can see this guy's
gray
face.
hair, black hair, brown hair, old, young.
I think he had hair. I mean, he would have been young at the time.
So it's not Michael Jordan. We're narrowing it down. Gary Oldman.
He does play pretty much everybody.
Gary Newman.
But the guy I'm trying to think of, I can see him in a movie with Jennifer Aniston.
Okay. Horrible Bosses?
Maybe.
Charlie Day?
Not Charlie Day.
No. Colin Firth might not be a terrible answer.
It's not, but it doesn't seem right.
About a minute left, friends.
Okay.
Give me something to work with. I will help you.
I'm trying to think if he was in Ted.
Ted.
I can't.
Mark Wahlberg.
Not Mark Wahlberg. He would have been a supporting.
The guy who played Flash
character.
Gordon. I didn't see Ted. I only saw 2 minutes.
He plays a sidekick. Oh, was he in Wedding Crashers with who were the
Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson?
Vince Vaughn is the guy I'm thinking of.
Vince Vaughn. Let's do that then.
Yeah. I don't know if it's him.
You've seen it more than once?
Name. Yeah.
All right, we're going Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn.
Please don't be Jon Favreau.
I was trying, while you were doing this, to play Who Are You Thinking Of? And my answer was different, but fits all your clues. Has nothing to do with our locked-in answer. I thought you were thinking of Ron Livingston because he played Berger in Sex and the City, who breaks up with Carrie via Post-it, but also was within Jennifer Aniston in Office Space. So I was like, oh, I'm trying. I'm like having a thread with Shane, trying to be like, this is who he's thinking of.
That's a really good. That's a really good name for that.
But he didn't play himself.
No, that's why it wasn't our answer. We locked in. I have seen most of Sex and the City. I don't remember this episode, so I don't remember if I just didn't watch it. I think I've always watched it kind of piecemeal over time. Some of us pretty sure was in a rom-com with her. I think Failure to Launch was Matthew McConaughey and Sarah Jessica Parker, so we went with Matthew McConaughey.
Funny story that both Vince Vaughn and Matthew McConaughey are in this episode. One plays himself The other plays the personal assistant to Carrie Fisher. The correct answer, who co-starred with Sarah Jessica Parker in Failure to Launch in 2006, is Matthew McConaughey.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Chris.
You
Vince
saw
Vaughn.
the same guy. You saw the actor in the episode. There's no blame on you, dude. You came as close as
None at
possible
all.
to get.
I was really confused because when you first said it, when you said that not as Carrie and Mr. Big, I'm like, oh, it's Chris Noth. But then you said played himself.
Yeah. Yes. So Matthew McConaughey plays himself in the episode. And Carrie Fisher's in that episode. I think Sarah Michelle Gellar is in that episode. Like, there's a lot of stars. So yes, your correct answer, given by Shane and Sarah, is Matthew McConaughey.
Every time I look up at Shane, he's like, whatever.
Round 4, question 3. Your category is music.
Music.
According to the lead singer of this band, the band's name comes from a bass player's mother's maiden name. But they locked on to the name when they realized that the name was also a homophone for a word meaning secret lover. Which is funny, as the lead singer and longtime guitarist revealed that they were in a relationship in late 2022.
I'm at the point in the day where my brain is starting to shut down. I can't think of words that I know.
Yeah, we're locked in.
Yep.
Okay, Jonathan and Chris, talk it out.
Yeah, it's not rendezvous. It's not clandestine. There's a word. It's not beau. It's not...
It's not Paramore.
Oh, no, it is Paramore.
But that's
I bet it's Paramore. Well, I mean, it could be Paramore. Oh,
but that's not a secret lover, is it? I thought
could
that's
be
the object of affection.
It is. That's a good answer, though. It's not. It's better than rendezvous or clandestine.
Yes. I'll give you that. Now that you said Paramore, I feel like that news may have come out.
Like Hayley Williams is the lead singer, female, and the guitarist would be male. So I think, like you said, you think it's the same set, or you think it's a male-female relationship, so that could fit.
I don't hate it as much as I did at first.
Do you want to go Paramore?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to guess Paramore.
Shane and Sarah, what did you say?
I basically write Paramore and wrote it the French way, and then Shane replied with Paramore written as the band writes it, and we were like, okay.
Yeah, and then we logic through it a little bit more, and we're like, hey, Hayley Williams, female singer, makes sense.
All right, yes. Hayley Williams and Taylor York revealed that they are in a relationship in late 2022, and they are both members of Paramore.
Great job, Chris.
Nice. Yes. So at the end of round 4, Jonathan and Chris, you have 100. Shane and Sarah, you have 130. Round 5, question 1, your category is smell goods. Thought to be...
Smell good.
That took me a second. Oh, yeah, okay. Love the Gorillas. Thought to be one of the oldest perfumes still in production today, Acqua di Santa Maria Novella was commissioned by what woman in 1533 to be made by Dominican friars in Florence and brought to France for her wedding to Henry III?
Do you want to just go with that, Chris? I'm not going to name any others.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right, we'll lock in.
Okay. Shane
Okay.
and Sarah, talk it out.
So Shane,
My frozen picture is very, very relevant.
I love like old European royalty, so this is getting me. Okay, so we're looking for someone who likely was coming from, you said Florence, right? Florence, and then married into the French royal family. And this is bothering me because when I think Florence around that time, you think the de Medici family. So I'm thinking Catherine de Medici. There's the other woman who was like sleeping with her brother, but I think that's a different family, or is that the de Medicis? I don't know. It was the one with like Gabriel Byrne that they had the Showtime series about. I don't know if those are the de Medicis, but that's not the right name. It's not Catherine de Medici. It was a totally different name, and operas were written about her. I'm going on a tangent, but I don't think the other person I'm thinking of married a French king. I think she kind of stuck around and married and was widowed and married. My guess is Catherine de Medici. I'm bothered. The Borgias is the other one I'm thinking of. Lucrezia Borgia, but it's not Lucrezia Borgia, I don't think. So my best guess is Catherine de Medici. Locking it in, okay?
We went with Borgia
Okay.
because we couldn't think of the de Medici's name.
So both of the answers I was given are both of these on Sarah's very impassioned coin flip. One is correct. And it is indeed Catherine de Medici. Yes. All right, let's get quickly into round 5, question 2. Your category, literature.
Literature.
Hawaii, Texas, space, Poland, caravans, and Caribbean were among the long-form family sagas written by what American author? His first book was adapted into the musical South Pacific.
What?
Yes.
I don't understand the question.
I need the author.
There's a long-form family saga named Space.
Yes.
Okay, so that's where I was like, all those words don't fit together for me. Okay.
Yeah, those are separate titles.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And his first book was adapted into the musical South Pacific.
Okay.
30 seconds left, friends.
You just want to go with that, Jonathan?
I think so.
I don't have anything better.
All right, we'll look in.
All right, Sarah and
Okay.
Shane.
This is first of all, great question. I'm sad I don't know this because I love Broadway. We're just like, what authors do we know from that era? But none of them seem to really fit the like genre. Do we just want to go with our generic answer, Shane?
That's fine.
We're gonna do a Lucky James because it's like, I feel like it's not a Smith, but we're like, what's another name that is slightly generic that could maybe be an author? So Lucky James.
Okay.
And Lucky is not part of the actual answer. We're just gonna throw out James and hope that's the last name that matches.
Okay.
I mean, we named a whole bunch of authors. Finally, like, out of all the ones that I thought of, the one that seemed most likely to do a bunch of like long form family epics was Faulkner. So we guessed at Faulkner, but don't have much confidence in that as an answer.
It's probably a good thing that Sarah muted herself because the answer is not Lucky James, but James Michener.
Michener. Oh, I've heard Michener's relationship to South Pacific before.
Yeah.
I just never. His name doesn't come up in my range when I'm thinking of American authors.
Yeah, like all of his books are like place long story about interacting people and families. It's good stuff, but you have to have the time to read it.
Okay.
Round 5, question 3. Your category, Duolingo could never.
As if.
Depending on where you are in the Spanish-speaking world, bujo, tecolote, and lechuza can all be used to describe what animal. Lechuza is the Spanish word, tecolote is derived from the Nahuatl language, and bujo's origins are all unknown, but it's thought to maybe be an onomatopoeia of the sound the animal makes.
Do we want to lock that in, Jonathan?
I think so.
Okay, we're locked in.
Man, we're tanking in the second half here.
It's a hard question. I mean, basically, ours is boiling down to a debate of what's a Central American animal that makes a distinctive noise.
Specifically buho. So I said jaguar right away because I heard tecolote makes me think it's Aztec. And so I know jaguars are really big in the Aztec culture.
I like that. The noise. I was like trying not to be over here and be like, buho, buho, what is that?
Right. So it made me think of a bird when I'm trying to do buho. So then I just said, like, what about a quetzal? Because I know that's a bird that's kind of native to that area. But then Sarah pointed out, wouldn't quetzal just kind of already be the name in the native language, which I don't disagree with. But I can't think of any other birds that are like, yep.
Yeah.
That's Central American.
I'm annoyed because Phoenix TX's second album was called Lechuza, so I feel like pop punk me from when I was 16 should know this. If you want to go with Jaguar, and then if it's Quetzal, we can be sad. But I'm bothered because I feel like Quetzal would be. I'm not sure if that's the Nahuatl word or not. But if you want to go with Jaguar, that's fine with me.
I don't have a bunch of a poll on it other than that just seems like that would be in that location. So rather than just beat our heads over it like we
that's
have
fine.
all episodes.
So let's put ourselves out of our misery and go Jaguar.
We'll say jaguar.
Jonathan and Chris, what did you say?
We're hoping that the sound is like, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. We guessed owl.
There's a little hint that Duolingo could never, because Duolingo is a bird.
Oh.
Your correct answer is a bird, and it is an owl.
It's an owl?
Oh,
We got it right, Chris.
Nice.
good
Good
pull on that
job.
one.
Yeah. I am sorry about any pronunciations there, but yeah, buho, owl. So at the end of round 5, Jonathan and Chris, you have 110. Shane and Sarah, you have 140.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all are killing it.
Round 6, friends. Question 1, your category, names the same. Though the name is the same, the title of the 2010 #1 single by Far East Movement makes reference to a private jet, and not the model of the 276 cars that Oprah gave away in an episode of her show. What name do they have in common?
I'm with you, Chris. Let's lock it in.
All right, we're locked in.
Okay, Shane and Sarah.
Okay. I don't know the music. I don't know the music part. What is a private jet and a car that have the same name? A Jetta. Ayo. Yeah.
Oh my God, that was real good. It was so bad. I loved it.
All I think of is the GIF where it's like, I know it's like you get a car, but the GIF where it's like you get bees and then bees come everywhere, and I can't get my brain past the bees.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't. I can't make that connection right now.
The cars given out on Oprah are likely going to be like normal people cars, right? Probably not a like Mercedes-Benz M-Class or something like that. You know, like an Odyssey, maybe. I don't know. What's a Civic? Corolla.
I'm trying to get it from the music angle because you think 2010 would be more.
I know that jets are like Piper Cubs. That's not even a jet. A Learjet, a Cessna. And that's mostly what I can name in terms of private aircraft, like smaller private aircraft.
I mean, none of those jump out to me as a song. Doesn't mean it's not right. Just I can't. You know what year Oprah did that thing?
No, not at all.
Can't even think of who Far East Movement is. I wonder if it's a one-hit wonder or if I'm just that ignorant of music at that time.
I'm not a pop music person, so.
Right. I'm trying to think of, I mean, those were college days for me. So I'm trying to think of, if you go out, what did you hear? But it's not coming to me. So I don't have it. If you just, I mean, Ultima.
The Ultima. Should we go with Ultima? That's like a good.
Ultima.
We're going to go.
Sounds cool.
Should we, in the interest of speeding this along and not prolonging our defeat on this question, the Ultima, because that sounds like it could be a fancy private jet.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah.
Shane and Sarah are saying Ultima. Jonathan and Chris, what did you say?
So I couldn't think of who Far East Movement was, but I know Gulfstream and I think Pontiac have a model of G6, and then the song Like a G6 came in my mind, so we said G6.
Looks like Jonathan and Chris are getting slizzard. The correct answer is G6.
That song is so catchy and so bad at the same time. It's awful.
It's just like I described. What's overplayed and annoying? That's something.
Exactly.
I don't think I know the song or the cars, so I don't feel bad about not having any clue.
There you go.
Yeah, you're fine not knowing it. Round 6, question 2. Your category, art and science.
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 Art and science. This organic compound is known for being used as a red fabric dye, derived from the roots of the plants of the genus Rubia, which includes coffee. It also appears as a shade of crimson that Bob Ross used in his paintings.
So you want us to give you what piece of information?
The name of the compound, but it's also a shade of crimson that Bob Ross uses.
When you say it's a compound in the question, what kind of compound are you meaning? Like an organic compound? Like a mineral compound?
It says it is an organic compound.
Organic compound.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The way I'm taking that is it's supposed to be natural. It's not artificial. It's
Yeah.
About a minute left, friends.
You want to go with that last one?
Yep. I don't have any better ideas.
I don't either. All right, we'll lock in.
We just are like, what's dark red that seems like it might also be a plant and sound like an organic compound? I do like carmine, but I think it might, like if you said it sounded like it might be from bugs, but I do kind of like it because it's dark red and we know it's organic and it sounds kind of like a compound. Burgundy is a wine variety, which is a red wine variety, but like it's also, I think, named after the region of France it's grown in rather than the plant itself.
all I was just saying is I think Burgundy is a plant. And we know it is a shade of red. Like, and so I know Burgundy wine. Yes, it's named after that region. But and yeah, I'm pretty sure carmine is from bugs. I had this conversation at work a couple days ago because I needed a red shade, and they're like, "Well, can you use this?" And they're like, "It comes from bugs. Can you use that?" I'm like, "Well, sure,
yeah,
give me."
what would you like to go with? Burgundy is a plant-related red color, but I don't think it's right, but it is plant-related.
Those are the only two suggestions I had: carmine and burgundy. And carmine's from bugs, and burgundy's from a plant. But
This is the wrong kind of science for me.
yeah, botany is not.
Yeah. Lock in with Burgundy and hope they also didn't get it.
All right, we'll say burgundy.
All right, Jonathan and Chris, what did you say?
Chris, you would throw out burgundy.
Yeah, just because it was a shade of red.
Yeah. I threw out vermilion. Carmine's pretty good. That is bugs for sure. We ended up putting rose because we were sure that rose is organic. It's red. And it sounds like a kind of thing that good old Mr. Ross might put on his palate.
So I am sorry, 10 points to me. This one was extra spicy. But with Bob Ross, he uses colors like Van Dyke Brown and phthalo blue. And in this case, the color, the dark red, is alizarin crimson. And I made the mistake of testing that out on Dane, and he knew it. So
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm a Bob Ross fan. I've never heard the word alizarin. It sounds like somebody mispronouncing Slytherin.
A Slytherin crimson.
Would you like to slither in Litherin?
Round 6, question 3. Your category is chassé, chante.
Chante.
The Chanson de Roland is the oldest surviving work of French literature. It is an epic poem written in 1040 that tells the story of Roland, a Frankish military leader under what king around 300 years earlier than it was written?
Confidence, Chris?
Mid.
Oh. All right, we're going to lock in.
All right, Shane and Sarah.
Yeah, we're looking for who ruled France a long time ago. And my first thought was Charlemagne. But I don't know if that's the right... He's a real long time ago, but I'm not sure how long ago, whether it's like 700, 1200. All of that, like, pre-Renaissance stuff really is just like a lump to me. And I don't have a great way of differentiating, like, before roughly, like, the late mid-1400s and after.
I don't have the exact timing, but I'm pretty sure he was pre-1000.
Okay.
I don't remember, and he was definitely French, or the king of the Franks,
And part of me is like, if it is someone
King
that's
of
not
the
Charlemagne, how will we be expected to know a person? She did ask for Lizarin Crimson though, so
That's
I'm
true.
like, I don't know, that was pretty spicy. But I'm like, that is like the most famous early king in that region. So if you want to go with if you were fine with Charlemagne, I'm happy to go along with it.
Yep, I'm fine with it.
All right, we're gonna log in with Charlemagne.
All right, Jonathan and Chris, who did you say?
We were looking for a French ruler around the year 800. We thought the most obvious choice was going to be Charlemagne, so that's what we said.
That's very good, because your correct answer is Charlemagne. Charlemagne. Very nice. So at the end of round 6, going into your gauntlet, Jonathan and Chris, you have 130. Shane and Sarah, you have 150. And your gauntlet category is Three Amigos.
Underrated movie.
Mm-hmm.
Our wagers locked in.
We're almost there.
I'm really bad at wagering. I'm like, it's everything or nothing, because that makes the math easy usually. Because I'm like,
Yeah, it does.
I can't do all the logic in my head. I'm like the what if and what if and what if. So I'm just being like, Shane, can you figure this out? You got an engineering degree, you said. So
I do. I do like the maths.
our wager is locked in.
So your first gauntlet question in the category of Three Amigos. Born in Mexico City in 1963, this director won 3 Oscars for Birdman and 1 for The Revenant. Other noteworthy works of his include 21 Grams and Babel.
Okay, we are locked in.
All right, our answer's locked in.
Question 2 of your gauntlet. Born in Mexico City in 1961, Alfonso Cuarón has won Oscars for directing, but also his cinematography work. Cuarón is actually the second person to be nominated for an Oscar in 7 different categories. This man from Belfast is first, known for acting, his Shakespearean film adaptations, and directing the 2011 MCU film Thor.
I was just trying to come up with that name. Yeah, I'm good with that. We can lock that in.
Sounds good.
We'll lock in with that.
Okay. Question 3 of your gauntlet, category 3 Amigos. Born in Guadalajara in 1964, Guillermo del Toro is known for his fantastical depictions of monsters and the grotesque. What is the most recent movie of Del Toro's to win an Oscar, which features frequent collaborator Ron Perlman?
I mean, I don't know the answer, but we could go with that.
I'm good with that.
All right, cool.
For what you said.
Yep, we'll lock in.
Okay, we are locked in.
Let's collect some answers, friends. So, for born in Mexico City, 1963, the director of Birdman and The Revenant, Shane and Sarah, what did you say?
So we kind of went back and forth on this. Funny enough, Sarah said Cuarón. Should we just go with Cuarón? And then we both were like, we think it's a person with 3 names. Like, we know it's a person with 3 names, and we just thought on it. And she's like, I think it's got double letters. And I was like, yeah, Iñárritu. So
yeah, we don't know 2 out of the 3 names. We know the most important.
Yeah, but I know he's 3 name, like Alejandro. I think it's Alejandro, but yeah. So we went with Iñárritu, and I think that's
okay. Jonathan and Chris, what did you say?
We had less knowledge than they did, and we went with Guillermo del Toro.
All right. So the second question, it's leading in with Alfonso Cuarón, but the man from Belfast, who is the first to win an Oscar and to be nominated for an Oscar in 7 different categories. Jonathan and Chris, what did you say?
Watched so many of his Shakespeare transactions. And then with Thor, I knew it was Kenneth Branagh.
And Shane and Sarah, what did you say?
I forgot about the Thor part, but then Kenneth Branagh is known for Shakespeare, and he just had Belfast, which was Oscar nominated this year as well, and it was like autobiographical.
All right. And the last question, Guillermo del Toro's most recent movie to win an Oscar, which features Ron Perlman. Jonathan and Chris, what did you say?
We had a lovely time guessing a bad movie that got critical acclaim and answered Pinocchio.
All right, Shane and Sarah.
We knew, we were like, what are some like Oscar nominated Del Toro things? And we said Pinocchio and The Shape of Water because we're pretty sure The Shape of Water won. I don't think either of us saw them, so we didn't know if Ron Perlman was in either of them, and I wasn't sure if Pinocchio won this year. However, I'm going to absolutely die if like Hellboy won Best Makeup or Special Effects, because I was like, I 100% know that's Del Toro plus Ron Perlman. That's a combination. And you know what? If I go out on that one and it's Hellboy, I'm going to be like, wow, Hellboy won an Oscar. But because we were more confident it won an Oscar, we went with The Shape of Water.
Okay. So I'm going to start with the one you guys agree upon, which is the man from Belfast who has been nominated for an Oscar in 7 different categories, Shakespeare, Thor. Your correct answer from both of you gave me Kenneth Branagh. Nice job.
Good job.
So the director that has won 3 Oscars for Birdman and 1 for The Revenant, that is Alejandro González Iñárritu.
Good job. I wanted to say his name started with an A, but I backed off of it. I was like, it seems like a vowel, but I couldn't come up with any names that had vowels.
I went to Cuarón first because I was like, it's A. And then I was like, oh, Alfonso Cuarón. And then I was like, no, it's like 3 names.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the last one, Guillermo del Toro's most recent movie to win an Oscar, which features frequent collaborator Ron Perlman, but not frequent collaborator Doug Jones. Correct answer is Pinocchio.
Oh. We
good
got
job,
that one
guys.
right, Chris.
Yeah.
I can't believe that movie won. Within the first 15 minutes, I'm like, they made Pinocchio creepy. This isn't fun at all.
It did win this year.
Yeah, best
I guess
animated
that-
feature.
I really just looked to see who won for Everything Everywhere all at
Yeah.
once. That's it. I didn't pay attention to much else.
We
All
overthought
right.
it.
Wagers are
Okay.
huge. Wagers are huge. So let's have Shane and Sarah's wager first because they were in the lead. They had a 20-point lead going into the gauntlet.
So we did the math. We talked about how first half wasn't so hard. Second half was very hard. What's this going to be for the last? We didn't know. And we just said, I always I'm going to feel bad if we get it right and we don't bet enough. So I was like, let's just go big. So we bet enough to lock you out and we bet 111.
All right. So you will finish with 39 points. So, Chris, I asked you, what question did I ask you?
You asked if I wanted to be conservative or aggressive.
And what was your answer?
I said aggressive.
You did say aggressive. So I said, well, their lockout wager's 111. Why don't we bet a big number that gives us enough to miss it and be higher than their 111 miss? We wagered 80. So we will finish with 50.
The mind games.
Good job. This is why I hate wagering. I'm like 0 or everything. It's
This
too
is why
complicated.
I love wagering.
Yes, Jonathan has taught me a thing or two about wagering. So with a final score of 50-39, Jonathan and Chris are your winners of this game.
Chris, I swear, I don't feel like we deserved that win. We had less points in the game and didn't get the gauntlet right.
But,
I
you
mean,
know, comes down to
wagering.
wagers.
A win is a win, though. How about it? Good game, everybody. All right, well, before we go, we like to give everybody a chance to do shout-outs and promote causes that they care about. Chris, you're a big winner today, so why don't we start with you?
So shout out to my wife, of course. She's not here today, so when she hears this, that'll be the first time she hears that. My friend Carrie Miller, she was on a couple episodes ago, so we always talk back
Carrie's
and forth.
great.
And then, I love her. Her and her husband are great, and her sister.
And what's your wife's name, by the way? I'm sure she'll appreciate hearing her name.
My wife's name is Jen. So Jen,
Hi, Jen.
will listen. And then for cause, just volunteer. Doesn't matter what it is. Just get out there, help people, help organizations, lend someone a hand.
Outstanding. Very good. All right, how about you, Shane?
I'll also do shout out to my wife, Jamie. She and I found this show together many moons ago. So
love it.
One of these times we'll have to try to get her on here. And then shout out to my son, Elliot, who tried to make multiple appearances on the show because he needs to know what dad's doing. Special cause, kind of do what I did last time. I always have a special soft spot for pets. You can see the cat tree behind me. So we just adopted a cat in December. So that's our first foray into cats. We've always had dogs. It's been a learning experience. But anyway, she was a rescue. So please, if you get a pet, do rescue. They need homes. You need a friend. Please do it.
Outstanding. All right, Sarah, we're going to finish up with you.
All right. First, shout out to Zahkia for making me look good by not putting sports questions in this. I was telling Shane at some point, I was like, that's why I'm getting things right. But really, thank you to my dad, because he's just spent this whole time watching my 5-year-old who's been poking his head in and being angrier and angrier each time that we're not done.
Thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Dad, and hi, Hamish. I'm going to shout out a cause I've been involved in called Letters to a Pre-Scientist. It is a science outreach thing that partners scientists or PhD students, scientists of all types of careers, with middle schoolers as pen pals. And they specifically target middle schools in high needs areas to practice students' literacy skills, but also encourage them to think about going to college and getting them interested in science. It's a great organization to donate to for $5 a month. You can join their stamp squad because they help these students in the teachers in high need schools pay for the postage stamps and all the stationery and stuff, as well as things like program administration. And it's been really fun to be a pen pal and see what kids have to say about science. And sometimes they hate it and just want to tell you about Minecraft, and that's cool.
Hey, there's some science in Minecraft. You got to focus on the stuff they care about. Love that. When you do that, when you're a pen pal with these kids, do you feel like the meaningful connection that really sets it apart?
I do. It's really awesome to hear from them. And like, it's not about like telling them what I do as a scientist. That's part of it. But I just want them to like feel like someone's interested in them. And sometimes it kind of like breaks your heart a little. But like, I had my students write like mini letters once, and I was like, I flooded the kids. Like, I gotta do something big. So I had like 12 mini letters sent. And like, I just hope that like it engages them.
That's awesome. Very cool. All right, guys. Well, that is going to wrap us up. So for Shane, for Sarah, for Chris, and Zahkia, my name is Jonathan. This has been episode number 422 of Trivial Warfare, where it's not just trivia, it's war. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Trivial Warfare. Be sure to check out the revamped TRIVIALWarfare.com as your one-stop shop to submit questions, join the community, and get access to over 150 archived episodes. Warm It Up was written and performed by Matthew Stevens. This episode was edited and produced by me, Joel Sharpton. For help with your podcast, visit ProPodcastingServices.com.